From experience, I can say, you cannot change anybody. Whenever any change occurs in somebody, it is occurring because they choose to change, not because somebody has changed them. So if you don't want to change, not even God can change you. And you are just a wife, a woman, and you think you want to change your abusive husband to become a caring and a loving husband and a father, I'm sorry to say, it's going to be very difficult. I sometimes feel too bad for these children who are in these kind of bad relationships. The wife is waiting for husband to change, and in that time, 20 years gone, 30 years gone, 40 years gone. The children grow up to be an adult, but they have damaged mind inside. They can't trust any other relationship. They can't trust, another man, because they think every man will be like my father. I have seen somehow they find it so difficult to relate. And now this mother who was waiting for the husband to change has actually damaged her own children. So in hope of happiness, mind goes through lot of unhappiness. हमें सुख मिल जाए, सुख की चाह में आदमी बहुत दुख भोगता है, पर उसकी उम्मीद नहीं जाती। उम्मीद नहीं जाती। पुराण में एक कहानी आती है कि एक आदमी जंगल से गुजर रहा था, उसके पीछे शेर पड़ गया। तो शेर उसको खाने के लिए आया, आदमी भागता है, भागता है, भागता है और एक कुएं में गिर जाता है। कुएं में जब वो गिर रहा था तो गिरते गिरते उसके हाथ में एक टहनी आ गई, अ ब्रांच। उस ब्रांच को उसने जोर से पकड़ लिया, पर वो ब्रांच में दीमक लगी है, termite in that branch. And there is a cobra sitting on that branch. So now there is death outside, there is a lion. There is death in the well if he falls down. There is death because the branch which he is hanging on is eaten up by the termites. And on the top there is a cobra sitting on that branch. And this man who is hanging by the branch gets to see that there is a honeycomb and the honey is dripping and he gets lusty and he's looking at that honey. He wants to eat that honey. So there is death all places and yet he's attracted to eat honey. Can you picturize this what I'm saying? फिर से कहती हूं, आदमी भागा, शेर उसके पीछे है, कुएं में गिर गया, गिरते हुए में टहनी हाथ में आई, टहनी को दीमक खा रही है और आदमी देखता है कि उस टहनी के ऊपर एक सांप भी है जो काट लेगा किसी भी समय, पर सामने की एक टहनी पर शहद का छत्ता है और आदमी के मुंह में पानी आ रहा है कि मैं कैसे ही शहद को खा लूं। अजीब लग रही कहानी है। Is it sounding too strange story? Well, that it is not. What this story is implying is this running man is none other than you. Who is the lion? Death. What is the well? Death. It's signifying death. Meaning death can occur at any moment, at any place. People go out on car, have accident. People go in bathroom, they slip, they hit their head on something hard, the brain bleeds, the person dies. Somebody eats food, the food was infested with some virus, so he gets a bug in the stomach, bad bug, and he dies out of dehydration and the infection which goes, out of control. A person goes to bed to sleep. It's a very freak story. The person had that electric blanket. In winters, some people have this electric blanket, you put it on, and it's very warm and cozy, and you have the degrees, how low or medium or, That electric blanket somehow got short circuit. Person is inside the bed, wrapped up with the blanket, and the short circuit happened. He was in deep sleep, his bed was on fire, and he couldn't get out. And he died in that. What a freak! So death is here, death is there, death is everywhere. When you are eating your French fries, I know you Americans love it. When you are eating your French fries, you are loading your arteries with bad cholesterol. Eating all the fried snacks and the meals, you are endangering your heart. You are putting yourself into, and on the top you will have the ice cream shake, which is going to shake you up in a very bad way. But when you are eating this stuff, or anybody who is eating this stuff, ask this person, are you liking it? He say, I'm loving it. So much so, they will take a picture and post it on their FB or Instagram, having a smoothie, having a pie, having this, having that, having great time. And this very delicious food will make his body sick, and the person crawls to the door of death. So that is everywhere. And yet our mind is so passionate about amassing wealth, getting stuff, getting money, hoarding up things, having bigger houses, and we don't give a damn about death, as if we are immortal. So the story of Purana is actually a story of every human being. And that's the beauty of Purana. Without pointing a finger onto us, they give us a very deep message via a story. And the implications are very deep. मृत्यु सब तरफ, पर मन कहाँ? मन फिर वहीं लगा पड़ा है, खाने में, पीने में, माल इकट्ठा करने में, लोगों के साथ समय अच्छा बिता लूं, खाने में समय अच्छा बिता लूं, तो खाता है, कमाता है, फिर खाता है, फिर कमाता है, फिर और खाता है, और फिर जब खा खा के बीमार हो जाता है तो डॉक्टर कहते हैं अब ये नहीं खाओ, अब ये खाओ, तो एक नई लिस्ट हाथ में आ जाती है। एक पंजाबी माता मुझे मिली, कहती जी मैं आपके लिए कुछ बना के लाई हूँ। मैं कि क्या लाई हूँ? कहती उनुआ लाई हूँ। मैं वो क्या होता है? कहती बहुत अच्छी चीज, साउथ अमेरिका से आती है। फिर मैं समझी ये कि नुआ कह रही है। कहती आपके लिए उनुआ बना के लाई हूँ। पहले मुझे लगा भाई कोई गुजराती डिश है क्या, पर माता पंजाबी थी, मैं पंजाबी माता गुजराती डिश काहे लाएगी? वो होता है ना क्या, हांडवा, हाँ पता नहीं हांडवा लाई है जिसे उनुआ कह रही है वो। कहती मेरे डॉक्टर ने कहा है कि ये खाने से कोलेस्ट्रॉल ठीक होता है और स्वास्थ्य अच्छा होता है, और तबीयत जब अच्छी होगी ना तो डॉक्टर ने बोला है तबीयत ठीक नहीं रहती है। पर खाने का मसला फिर भी है, खाने का मसला फिर भी है। कबीर साहब कहते हैं खाए खाए करे बद फैली। People eat and eat, and when they eat too much, what will they produce? More poop, that's it. So what is the productivity of human body? If you are not a creative person, if you are not a philosopher, if you are not a thinker, if you are not a logician, the only thing which you will create in your life is just poop. That was your achievement. Nothing else. तो जिंदगी सिर्फ खाने के लिए तो नहीं बनी है, जिंदगी सिर्फ सोने के लिए तो नहीं बनी है, जिंदगी बहुत कुछ समझने के लिए बनी है, जिंदगी अपने आप को समझने के लिए बनी है, जिंदगी परमात्मा क्या है, कहाँ है, कैसा है वो जानने के लिए बनी है। और अगर हम अपना वक्त उस पर नहीं लगा रहे हैं तो फिर हम क्या कर रहे हैं? आदमी यूं जी रहा है जैसे वो हमेशा जिंदा रहेगा। कुछ इस तरह जी रहा। जिंदगी बहुत खूबसूरत है, पर इस खूबसूरत जिंदगी के साथ एक कड़वी सच्चाई और भी है, और वो ये है कि ये जिंदगी हमेशा नहीं चलती। सांसें बहुत कीमती हैं, पर इसकी एक सच्चाई और भी है कि ये सांसें हमेशा नहीं चलती हैं। तो अगर अभी के अभी तुम्हें शायद अजीब लगे सुनना, पर मैं फिर भी कहती हूं, अगर अभी के अभी मौत आ जाए तो मेरा सवाल ये है, क्या तुम तैयार हो? आई रिपीट, death is the brutal reality of life. We don't wish to think on it, we don't wish to remember it, we don't wish to plan about it. But my question is, if this very moment death arrives, knocks at your door, are you ready to pack up and go? Do you think so? You have done that, what you were supposed to do? Do you think you have completed the agenda of your life? Please focus on it. We don't usually do that. We don't even want to do that. But it's the most important thing. अगर हर जीवन का अंत है और वो अंत कब होगा ये हमें मालूम भी नहीं है, तो पहली बात इस जिंदगी में करना क्या है, पहले तो वो समझ के उसको करने में लग जाइए। और दूसरा, मौत जब आती है तो वो खबर नहीं देती है कि मैं किस दिन, किस घड़ी या किस पल आऊंगी। See, science has done amazing development. We have so wonderful apps and so wonderful softwares. We have so good medical machineries, and we have so good, nice methods of diagnostics. Yet, there is no software and there is no application which will tell you when your body will die. We don't know that. We are not aware of that. We actually don't even want to know that. And that means the end. And that means whatever you could do while being alive, now it won't be possible. So whatever is important should be known, should be prioritized, and should be practiced. मुझे याद है, मैं एक आश्रम में जहाँ जाती थी, वहाँ पर जो भोजन बनाती थी, और जो आश्रम, जिनका आश्रम था, उन गुरु की वो माता जी थी। तो उन्होंने एक्चुअली अपने घर को ही आश्रम में बदल दिया, क्योंकि एक ही उनका पुत्र था और वो साधु हो गया। तो अब वो क्या करेंगे? तो हस्बैंड वाइफ दोनों ने सोचा कि अब घर नहीं, ये आश्रम है। तो उन्होंने लीगली उसको आश्रम में कन्वर्ट, पर रहे तो उसी में रहे थे। तो वो भोजन पकाती थी, बहुत प्यारी महिला, बहुत सुंदर महिला। हम तो बच्चे थे, उनको देखते थे एकदम, she would always be very immaculately dressed. She wore white clothes, but her dupatta would have a nice lace, her shirts would be very nicely stitched. Always clean, beautiful lady to look at. And I still remember she had a huge cupboard which had half was the glass and the half was the wood. So you can see the way she had kept her clothing. So nicely stacked, what you see in a showroom. Very beautifully stacked. Everything is so organized. And when she would open, I remember I would be just awestruck to see what a beautiful cupboard. And then I would remember my own, or very bad one. And here this lady has such an organized and beautiful, everything is nice and organized. And if she has some colored clothes, then matching everything will go with that. And then she died. Obviously, everybody is going to die one day. So she had some complications, medical, and she died. And her dead body was brought back from the hospital and was kept in the lower floor. And her room and her cupboards were at the second floor. And I went up to get something, and there I saw these ladies, 3 sisters, standing in front of the cupboard, and they were fighting who will take what. And their elder sister's dead body is right there in the ground floor, and these 3 women were fighting who will take what stuff.